There are people that think about going to space, and there are people that go to space. Anyone who thinks about it realizes it's a bad idea, and anyone who goes to space clearly never thought it through. And even by that metric, this was as ill-conceived as my signature skateboarding trick, the sick flip. Every single twinkle that lights up the stupid-ass night sky is hot gas and bullshit. If half of them disappeared, would you notice? The moon is a soundstage because the real one sucks. But if you asked me to do it all again, I would without a first thought. Because it's bad ideas that bring us together. Isn't that right, my old friend? Yeah, you're welcome. Look, I never thought I'd say this. I don't even know if I really mean it, but video games isn't about vengeance. I mean, right now it's about firing a Douglas fir tree into space and then finding the Douglas fir tree in space. But that's not really the point either. Vengeance is the journey, sure. And sometimes the journey is more important than the destination. But you never really know until you get there. You might not even know when you are, as long as you got something out of it. Does it even fucking matter? That's the point of video games. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that ever truly was. There's finally going to be another Pokemon Snap. Oh God, am I having to explain Pokemon Snap years old? All right, if you're not a 90s kid slash 2020s geriatric, it was basically like a puzzle rail shooter. I don't know, it was fun. I'm sure they'll dress it up like the Instagram for you. It shouldn't be too big of a learning curve. There's also going to be a Pokemon MOBA to introduce children to the concept of hating your fellow man. Either we're going to get to experience what it's like when a Bulbasaur tells you he's going to murder your whole entire family because you took whatever the equivalent to blue buff is, or it'll be a MOBA without any kind of communications, which sounds pleasant. Cyberpunk 2077 got some new trailage and had some kind of a press event where people were allowed to play it and talk about that they played it, which is a good sign. The less hiding a thing is, the typical gooder it may be. It's also getting an anime, and I don't know what the over-under split on that one is. Crash Bandicoot 4 was announced, surprising absolutely no one and causing anomalous joy in cloudy old England.
I'm right chuffed to have that bloody bandicoot up me slitzer,
said the Queen of England, allegedly.
popping him up me batty all would be well good, innit?
She continued, grinning so hard that tooth oil poured out of her big gray smile and into her afternoon tea. The PlayStation 5 finally showed its big router-looking face. There's a version of it that eats delicious CDs to put on the television, and a version of it where you don't actually own anything you buy. In a manner not too dissimilar to an E3 showcase, especially for a company that doesn't show up to E3 anymore, there of course was a showcase of games that make you want product. To get you all sweaty and ready, they showed off some impossibly detailed footage of the new Unreal Engine that of course only works with current technology. Look at Light move. Look at Thing go. Look at Bug Skitter. Games only can but won't look like this on the PlayStation 5. The big impressive thing, and this is also true of the Xbox X, the Extreme Box, is that everything is designed around a solid state drive, which means loading isn't really a factor that needs to be considered. I assume cross-platform PC games will start requiring a solid state drive to run too. Basically what this translates to: characters can move faster, slow-moving platforms, elevators, those parts of games where you have to squeeze through a tight space, those are all in there to hide loading. The new Ratchet and Clank game, which is a thing that was also announced, was probably specifically designed to showcase this. The way that those portals fucking open up and then they go to a completely different place. I mean, I'm not gonna say you couldn't do it now, but you definitely have to cheat it. Now, does this translate to fun? I mean, I don't know, but as a certain video game blue character once said, if I were to go fast, I'd probably enjoy that quite a bit. And then he spread his toes. There's gonna be a new Spiderman, both literally, figuratively, and sequentially. It looks like it's basically built on the same bones as the Spider-Man PS4 game, but it's confirmed to be a new game, and you play as Miles Morales, the Spider-Man from the Spider-Man movie, comma, the best one. So that Resident Evil Village rumor turned out to be true. I told you that they would spell village with like a Roman numeral 8 because it's Resident Evil 8, you moron. Would I speak in jest about something so banal? That would be both dishonest and fucking silly, and if there are two things that I am never, it's those. Speaking of my general unsilliness, Returnal is a game that sounds like I named it, where a space lady dies repeatedly and eternally returns. Is it orb related? Only one way to find out, but yeah, it's probably. Demon Souls is getting remastered. Possibly just straight across the board. Maybe they won't make you eat the grass anymore, or maybe it'll just look really nice when you eat the grass. There's going to be a sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn called Horizon, the Forbidden West. How come there hasn't been a His Horizon, As a man, I demand representation. Hitman 3 got announced, and before you say it, I refuse to demand a hit woman because I would never do that. To say it got a trailer is maybe being a little generous, but it sure got something that might pass as a vague cutscene. They finally showed some gameplay of Godfall. Remember that trailer that looked like a graphics card commercial and they were like, oh, and it's for the next gen stuff? And it was the only thing that showed up to the Game Awards doing that, and it was, not gonna lie, kind of cringe, dude. Anyway, it basically looks like Destiny meets Dauntless. They put some rap music over it, cause, you know, when you think about felling gods and beasts with runic blades, that's what you go for. BUGSNAX is a game where you live amongst talking walruses, and then there's bugs that are food, and they eat the food bugs, and then their arm turns into the food that the bug was the food, and that's the video game. If you smell toast, that's just the delightful concept of BUGSNAX working its way into your subconscious. Have you ever experienced such a sense of bliss? I would venture to guess not. Oddworld is back, and after what I just presented you with, I understand if you don't think that it's substantially odd. You can't let BUGSNAX be your new normal. You have to accept it and move past it. Oh yeah, the walruses are also Australian. There's going to be a new Little Big Planet. This one's a lot more 3D and less of a side scroller, and I didn't see nobody make a big dick, but they never show you the guy making a big dick. They just kind of talk about the endless possibilities of being creative and expect you to sort of figure it out on your own. Kena Bridge of Spirits looks like Horizon Zero Dawn and Pikmin had a baby, and then it was a game for babies. Like you. Project Athia looks like a tech demo, and a tech demo had a baby, and then it was a baby for tech demos. Like, well, not like you, but I don't know, maybe like Fracture. You remember Fracture? Deathloop, much like The Reliver, or whatever the fuck that game was called, is a game where you die and you come back over and over and over again. It kinda sorta looks like Dishonored, but competitive, and I'm calling it not orb related. We also gotta look at Ghostwire, which is like a first-person shooter where you shoot ghosts, except the guns are karate. There were some nice looking stylized games, Little Devil Inside, Solar Ash, and Jet the Far Shore. We're also seeing some current gen stuff having plans for cross-generational ports. Both the PS5 and the Xbox 7-fold are pretty much fully backwards compatible, but on top of that, certain games will have full-on next-gen versions that you'll be able to upgrade to if you buy the new consoles. Namely Cyberpunk, the new Avengers game, and GTA 5, because it pulls in an ungodly amount of money, and there was a strangely prominent part of the PlayStation 5 presentation dedicated to it. And that's pretty much everything they showed there. Hey, take a look at this. Does this look like Dragon Age 4 to you? I just kind of woke up and it was here. You think it's worth getting checked out, or? Paper Mario and the Origami Salami got announced out of nowhere and is coming out July 17th. Luckily, there seems to be no miserable trace of cards or stickers. There is some weird ring mechanic or something where you have to like line up enemies, so don't totally unclench just yet. Skate 4! That's it. That's the story. It's been so long since I've done one of these that a Smash Bros character has been announced and released. Min Min from ARMS is in the game now, and of course there are 5 new characters that are still yet to be released, 4 of which are still unknown. The 5th, they're building up to him. I can feel it. So Mixer is fucking dead. Turns out you can't just buy your way into a space on the internet that's already totally effectively filled by another platform. Go figure. It sold itself off to the big face, all of its major major talent has refused to sign on to another deal with El Zuck, but all Mixer partners were offered a contract with Facebook Gaming, and God help us if one of them manages to corner the market on streaming for that one ant we all have. Person 4 Golden, released on the PC just for you. You're my golden little person, you know that? Like that little feller that actors make themselves throw up on camera for. And if I had to give an acceptance speech, I wouldn't waste it thanking my dumbass agent or my shitty family. I would use it to thank you. I'm Lyle Rath, and this has been Pregame Discharge. Whether there's a next time or if this is the last time, come back anytime. All your favorite topical weekly video game news will be right where you left it.